Hello everyone, Fred here. Thanks for stopping by today. I am Gardening Channel. Well, this season's done. It was actually done before it even got started. Long year for the garden. Not much has worked out. Unfortunately, I'll show you. Northeast Ohio today, end of August. We're at 90. About 90% humidity. It is scorcher today. This is the way it's been for a month. So we'll start in the front yard here. We'll start up here. These were my pots. I had the 2 or 3 peppers that I had put in pots. Let me get my weeds out of here. This is the poblano pepper. These are actually looking decent. I've got some nice poblanos here. That's a weed. These peppers here should be jalapenos. Two plants of jalapenos here. Looking actually pretty decent. Quite a few jalapenos. These are getting ready to pick. Unfortunately, this is about the only peppers I have this year, or what you see. Anything that's been in pots has worked. As you'll see, anything else is not great. Okay. This is my front flower bed. Disregard the weeds. Weeds got out of control because I've been traveling most of the summer because of work. So things tend to go to the wayside. On the side over here by the camper, if we recall, we had the Praxis cherry tomato, which I had, I believe, 2. And I do have some nice Praxis cherries over here. As you can see, these vines are actually doing quite well. Of course, lots of weeds around here. But I have, I've harvested 2 batches of tomatoes, and we're going to have a couple more rounds. Once again, the Praxis cherry is one of my favorite. The stems and the stalks are very sturdy on this plant. Very thick stalks. One of my favorite cherries right here. Beautiful. Love them. This is the second plant over here. Again, full of fruit. For some reason on the side yard here, it always does good. I just can't keep the weeds out. Next year I may end up doing weed guard. I might just put down a weed fabric like I have back in the garden, and just put some tomatoes and peppers over here. Over here I'm gonna have to check, but I believe these are just green bell peppers. I believe these are just green bells. Once again, taken over by thistle. But they've done actually pretty good. Here's a pepper down here. Green bells. Yep. Nothing fancy, not big. But I do have a couple. And you can see my thistle plants are doing great. So that's about it, unfortunately. Let's go back to the garden. I'll show you what's back here. So as we recall, we had 2 rows of tomatoes this year, and they never really even got off the ground. Well, they did, but that was about it. As you can see, the 2 rows right here and against the back never really went anywhere. I do have a couple tomatoes here. A couple of these fell over that had fruit, and I will probably end up getting a couple fruit, but that's about it, sadly. And I think this was because, see, look at this. Nothing, there's nothing here. That one totally dried out. I think this was because, as I have a plane taking off overhead, when I planted, we had another hot spell right after I planted in the spring. And I think it was too much heat right after the transplant. They never really took off after that. See, look what happened here. Now this looks like a deer ate it. Something ate those. I suspect that could have been a deer. Same thing with this one. Early in the process, something ate those buds. Yep. So, nothing here, folks. Nothing here. Next year, I'm rethinking my whole strategy. I may end up pulling this up and just planting grass. I think I'm going to go to pots next year. I haven't had much success back here in a couple years, and I think it's because of these trees. I don't get enough sunlight back here at the garden. Unless I trim them back good. I've got a maple tree over here, oak, and a big maple. And as you can see as I look up right overhead, this is all shade tree. I think that's what's causing the issues. So, I think I'm just going to go to some pots. I'll put them on the back porch here. And we'll see how they do there. Definitely get more sunlight than here. On another note, my apple trees produced this year. This is the one that's never produced any fruit. I've got one fruit up there. Everything out down here is dead, but it's been so hot. Not surprised. And over here, this apple tree produced several apples. Look at all these apples down here. I think this is a Fuji apple. But I've got several down here. And they're starting to fall off. So I almost think they're ripe. And we got a bumblebee there. Look at that bumblebee. That's cool. But there's some Fujis in there. They're supposed to be red. But this tree got eaten. You can see some more apples up there. This tree got nailed by the Japanese beetles. And it needed sprayed. So I think what I'm going to do is get all these weeds out of here. I might even do that today. Take my fence down, get the weeds out. I'm going to mow and put the fence back up. And just let these apples continue to grow. See what we can get. Next year, during the winter, what I'll do is I'm going to trim these back. We'll do some pruning on these. Now that they're getting bigger, it definitely needs pruned. Get some of these lower branches out. Any of the little ones. We need to get air in there. So, pruning both apple trees. Somehow get them more productive. We'll just let the garden go. And we'll go to a pot garden next year. Pots being round pots, not marijuana pots. And go from there. Because until these trees get trimmed, which are actually on a gas line, between where I'm standing and that barn over there is a natural gas storage underground container, which is all through this neighborhood actually. So it's on an easement. And the gas company was actually going to come through about 6 or 7 years ago and take these trees out. And they never have. So I guess that plan fell through the cracks. But I would have loved to have them taking these trees out. Because then my garden would have been, I could have went up on that hill. But anyway, I'm babbling. So that's the garden for this year, unfortunately. Wish I had better news. So I think we'll do a follow-up one more time, maybe in a month and a half. See where we end up on those peppers and those cherry tomatoes. And go from there. We'll see how these apples turn out. All right. Well, thanks for watching.